Who is the greatest Canadian of all time and why?
Well, you know, Tommy Douglas always wins a lot of points in this area, and I live in the area that he used to represent. So, I'll stick with Tommy.
Greatest Canadian, I'd say Celine Dion. She's the best. Can't go wrong with her.
Oh, good question. I'm a former dancer, so Karen Kane is probably my greatest Canadian. But yeah.
Marshall McLuhan.
Why?
Because Marshall McLuhan, everything he said is coming true with our global and our communication and everything that's uprising.
Well, I'm just going to go with the name that popped into my head first, Joni Mitchell. I'm a musician.
The greatest Canadian of all time, Justin Bieber. Yeah, I like music.
I think Margaret Atwood. I think she's a fantastic writer. I think she sees things through such a unique perspective. And she's a cool lady. And she's got lots of different things on the go.
You know what? I really love Silken Laumann, the rower. She won gold and got her medal taken away. And I was a little kid during that whole saga, and I remember going to see her speak, and I just thought, like, what grace and acceptance she had for such a junky situation she was put in. She ended up taking cold meds and getting her medal taken away, but, or let me think of someone even better. I mean, I think any Canadian who has acceptance and respect for their fellow person is a great Canadian.
Well, I can give you one name that isn't mentioned very often, and that is the Marquis of Lorne, who was the Governor General at the end of the 19th century, and he founded the Royal Society of Canada and kind of gave a central intellectual focus.
Ryan Gosling. You've seen the Barbie movie, so yeah. La La Land, it's great.
Who is the greatest Canadian of all time? Well, Frank Mahovlich would be, in my opinion.
Wayne Gretzky comes to mind first, just because I'm a hockey fan, so I'll go with that one.
Stompin' Tom Connors comes to mind. Someone who's singing about the country itself, right? Who's spreading the stories. That's kind of what I relate to, is spreading stories of Canada.
Sir Frederick Banting, because he developed insulin. There you go, diabetic champion.
Sir Frederick Banting. Because he was the co-inventor of insulin, and without insulin and the development of the drug for use, many diabetics would not have survived. And a great Canadian story, and he would be one of the greats.
The person that comes to mind for me is, of all people, is Margaret Lawrence. And why does Margaret Lawrence come to mind? I think maybe when I read her novels, I really enjoyed her novels, but it was really the first time I had a sense of being Canadian.
Louis Riel, I like the sort of fighting against depression point of there, and Viola Desmond in the same, taking a stand for what she believes in, and small acts creating big waves that make, social change.
I think it's hard to isolate one person, but I would say Glenn Gould is a pretty great Canadian for his amazing musical talent.
Sidney Crosby.
Tell me why.
He's a really great hockey player and a great ambassador for Canada, I think. So, yeah.
I am really into music, so I'm going to support my fellow musician, The Weeknd. Really into his kind of music, and I think that he's really revolutionized music industry here. So The Weeknd.
I think people say Drake, but I'm kind of rooting for Justin Bieber, so yep, Justin Bieber I'd say.
Celine Dion. That's what I think.
I'll say Drake.
Who?
Drake.
Drake?
The musician, yes. Because of his music, he's recognized everywhere, and every Canadian should be proud of him.
Gilles Villeneuve.
Why?
Because he contributes a lot to the racing and the sport here in Canada.